Okay. All right, so we should be able to. Are we live? Are we live? Live? Yes, we are. We are live. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we are live. This is my first BitChute live stream. Okay, so everything is going well here. Just need to make sure everything's going well. I can't do a preview. I don't even know how to chat. That's weird. Okay, I don't know if BitChute has chats. I guess I'll figure this out when I for next time. Okay, so this live stream is about how to open a new window using JavaScript. So you can open a new window. It's very simple. It's simply just use the JavaScript open method, and it takes optional parameters such as you can have the name of the window, obviously the URL, and you can have window dimensions. For example, I can make it 200 pixels by 10 pixels or whatever you want, or full screen. So obviously the another option is to open as a separate window. You can open a new tab, or you can even open it as replace the current window. Now, there used to be a parameter called replace, but that's been deprecated. Probably doesn't work anymore. So you can just use self, and then, for example, you can replace this one. So I'm going to divide the parameters into three. There will be the URL. So that's the domain or website or page you want to open up, as you can see in the glossary. Page to open. There's a name. The name could be just the name, or you can also add, as I said, you can add things such as self, blank, underscore self, and top. That's usually for iframes. And then there's specs. So the specs, this will be like the dimension. So you can specify exactly the size and other stuff. So we won't go through all of them. You can just we'll just do the most common ones for this tutorial. Otherwise, it will just take too long. So if we go down here, so we can see that we have, as you see here, for example, you can open. If you just use open, it will just open a new browser window. And if you put the URL, for example, if here I put a jumboshop.com, it will that's what it will open up in the new window. And if you put a target, the target, for example, here you see the self and blank. The difference here is blank will open it up in a new window. That's depending on the settings. Usually by default, because back in the late 90s, early 2000s, a lot of people abused this feature. So browsers by default have some type of privacy or minimize the annoyance. So by default, it usually opens up in a new tab. But if you actually go into your settings in a web browser and you remove that, it should open up in a new window. But I said I like the default, so I'm just going to assume it open up at this point in time for probably the last 20 years. Most browsers just open up by default in a new tab. And of course, you can open up in self. I said that can replace the current window you're in. And for example, here we have specs. As I said, you can, for example, here you see I put the width of 200 and height of 100. This is comma separated, so you can have many of them. So you see the other ones here in the target, you can only have one. So for example, obviously you can't open up in a, you can't use self and blank. You can't do that. Okay, so you can expand this to see the code snippet, and this is a screenshot of the code that we'll be inputting today for this tutorial. And down here, this is output. You see this is a pop-up. It opened up as a blank page. See the pop-up here? It's a new web browser window. Okay, and this is the video you're actually watching now, or if you want to view, if you want to send me any chat, or I'm available right now. Okay, so I just want to let you know that every JavaScript is open source. It follows the MS Script standard, licensed under W3 software license, which allows commercial use, modification, distribution, and making derivatives proprietary. I don't need to tell you that I'm a proponent of open source. So this way, not because it's free, it's because you can modify it for your own users. Obviously, depending on the license, sometimes you have to give back the code or just let people know where they can download it. Just want to let you know that every Friday there will be a live stream where you can ask questions. Just go to ojambo.com for details and instructions. Okay, now we're going to head over to ojamboshop.com. Before I go there, you can to follow along for this tutorial, you can use any IDE or text editor and a web browser to compile and execute the JavaScript code. For this tutorial, I'll be using the ojamboshop.com Learning JavaScript Course web IDE to input and then compile the JavaScript code for the open window tutorial. Okay, so let's go back here. So I am going to stick to the object declaration, which is under the chapter 8 for the Learning JavaScript course on ojamboshop.com. So you can see here's the ID. You just type in the code here and you click compile, and then it'll compile down here. But in this particular case, there'll be nothing in the output here because it just opens up a window, and all the code will be opened up in the window. So, okay, let's begin here, the coding part of the tutorial. Okay, so let's here zoom in a little bit. Okay, so you can always copy and paste right into the editor here. Okay, new window equals window.open. So if I run this, this will open a new window. So for example, if I compile here, you see it opens up as blank. It opened up a new tab. That's the default for most web browsers today. Now, I'm not going, so for example, if I put a URL in here, I can say https ojamboshop.com, compile again, you see it's going to go to ojamboshop.com. This is the home page. Okay, so you can do that. But I'm not going to open up I'm not going to open up ojamboshop.com because I'm already there right now. So, and I'll put now because I'm not going to give it a name. If I want to put a name, I could put it here, or I can put those parameters I was saying, like the self, what's the other one? Blank and all the others, but I'm not doing that. So the one I want is the dimensions. So for example, I want the height to be 200. I want the width to be 400. And then there's a status equals yes. Toolbar. I don't want a toolbar. You see the comma separated. And do I want a menu bar? No, I don't. And do I want location? No. Okay. So these are the three parameters. This is where the URL to be. This is I could put a name here, or I can so I want to specify, like for example, blank, which should open in a new window, but the browser defaults usually open up a new tab. And the others, like I said, self, which will just replace the current window, for example, this one. And then obviously the third one is the specs. So here I put the height, width, status, toolbar, menu bar. Sorry, toolbar is no, menu bar is no, location is no. Okay, so if I run this, it will open it up. For example, if I compile this, you see it's going to open up. There's nothing here. Just so that, but that's basically the tutorial. However, I want to do something else. It's very boring when you just open up a new window with nothing in there. So what I want to do is I want to add some content to that window. New window content. So I'll create a variable here, p, and I'll add the paragraph. So I use new window, this variable here on line 4, and I put new window dot document dot create element. So that's the p or paragraph tag. Then I'll create another one, n, which is just the content for the paragraph. So then I'll say new window dot document dot create text node. Be sure to check out. So right now it creates a p tag. Then inside that p tag, it's going to put be sure to check out. However, the problem right now is this would not work. So for example, if I compile this, you see, I made a mistake there, but this should be create node. You see, it's still, nothing is showing up here. The reason is because this p or paragraph has not been appended to this new window. So to append it to the new window, all you do is you type in new window dot document dot body dot append child p. Okay, now if I compile this, oh, still did not work there. Why is that? New window document body dot append child p. Not sure why that did not work. Okay, let's continue. I don't know why that didn't work. It should have added my paragraph. Let me check that out again. Paragraph should be here. I don't know why that did not work. Oh, that is super weird. Okay, p dot, you can add attributes. I'll give it an ID, make it content, p dot oh, okay, here's the problem. The reason this didn't work is because I forgot to append. I have to append this to the paragraph. That's why it didn't work. So the paragraph is actually there. If you do an inspect, you actually see it. Okay, so all you can do is I just say p dot append child n. Now if I run this, you see, be sure to check it out, because now the n, which is the text node, has been appended to the paragraph. And then you can also append, for example, I'm going to create a link. Let link equals new window dot document dot create element, and the anchor tag is obviously a, and then link dot set attribute. So instead of using ID, which are built-in ID or class name, you can also use set attribute. So this one will be href, and it will be https jumboshop.com. Now you won't be able to see that because I need a text node as well. So I'll just append child. So instead of creating a variable, you can just document.create text node jumboshop.com. e.append child link. So now I should have, be sure to check it out, and I should also have my hyperlink. So if I compile this now, be sure to check it out. Oh, I made a mistake. Create node. I don't know why I'm putting create node. It should be create node. Create node, and this one should be append child. It's change child link. Okay, there we go. So you see, my hyperlink has now been appended to that text node, because append child means it will basically be like a postfix. It will just right at the end. That's why I added a space here, right here. CBS, check it out. If I didn't do that, this will just be flush, which I don't want. So that's why I did that. And you can see this is actually an actual link. It goes to jumboshop.com here. So if I click it, you see inside my little window here, and you see the size is, it's 400 width and 200. So see, that's your jumboshop.com in that window. Okay, so then we can also I'm going to create a span, new window dot document dot create element span. Then instead of doing like a set attribute, what you can do also, you can also use inner HTML, and you can then add your own things here. I'll show you how to do that. Span.inner HTML equals, I'm going to use template strings space for the courses, and to leave donation click href equals https. So the reason I like using template string is this way I'm able to use double quotes here. I could also use single quotes without having to worry, because if, for example, if I used a single quote here, then for here I would have to use double quotes, and obviously if I use double quotes, then I would use single quotes. But I prefer the template string in this case, so it's just cleaner, faster to do things. I mean, also make less of a mistake. So I'll put here, and I'll close it off. Then I have to append to the P as a child. So it's going to be right at the end. This is case sensitive. So the way JavaScript works, the built-in functions you can see here, it's lowercase, and then this part becomes capitalized. I'll just same here with the H for HTML. You see append child. New window is just I made that myself. It could have here new window. You see, for example, create element, create text, and the node. Yeah, so that's how JavaScript works. Does most functions. So here we go. So now if I compile this, you can see here it says be sure to check out. So you can see be sure to check out. That's this part here on line 8, and I left a space. Then it says jumboshop.com. That's the link I created here. You see https jumboshop.com. Create node is jumboshop.com. That's this part here. And then when I create the span, you see I use template string, so I left a space here as well. So it's for courses, and to leave a donation. click, and I just I wrote the HTML for the hyperlink. So instead of doing, for example, you see it's 1, 2, 3, instead of writing 3 lines of code, I just literally just wrote 1 line of code. Actually, technically, because you see how I did the p tag as well, I had to do all this, but in this case, I could just do it literally on 1 line using template strings. So https:/ojambo.com/donate and here. And as you can see, when I go to ojamboshop.com, you can see down here, there's you can see the URL there. And when I click here, it goes to ojambo.com. So for example, if I click here, it will go to the donate page on ojambo.com, which you can also click in the bar up here. So as you can see, I can resize this and all that. Okay. So fortunately, I do not know how to see the chat. Yeah, but hopefully I get the chat. We get the chat working somehow for the next time. Okay, so now we can go back to the article. The article is on ojambo.com/javascript-open-window. And as I said before, you can see here we have the video which you're watching right now. And a quick reminder again, every Friday there's a live stream. It's at 8 p.m. Eastern. So just check it out. You can simply go to ojambo.com for details and instructions. For example, if I click here to go to ojambo.com, you see this coming Friday, I'm going to be talking about CMS, WordPress CMS posts. So you can just simply click here and you'll be able to join. Or you can, if you actually go to the article itself, if you click it, you'll be able to participate. All I said again, you can just watch it without joining. Okay, so that's going to be on YouTube. I do have programming courses on ojamboshop.com. For example, the one I'm promoting right now is the ojamboshop.com Learning JavaScript course. As you've seen, I was able to run the JavaScript with it. So it's available 24/7. You just pay a one-time fee. There are no subscriptions. And if you have any questions, you can submit them and there'll be a reasonable turnaround. All you need is a web browser. I also have the book version of Learning JavaScript. It's available in paperback or ebook. The only difference between the course and the book is that the books do not have JavaScript or a web ID or an ID. It's just the content, but the content is exactly the same as the course. And as I say, if you can support me by simply purchasing one of my online programming courses or publications. So the links are in the description. Right now, the books are available on Amazon. I just wanted to put on Amazon because it's easier to publish the paperback versions. I also have other courses like the Python course, PHP course. So obviously with WordPress, we'll be doing in the future, we'll be doing some PHP stuff. So it's good to learn. And obviously JavaScript as well. And as you can see, I also have the Python ebook and Python PHP, PHP ebook on Amazon. The links are in the description for everything. Or if you go to this article, you can click on the references, they'll all be there as well. And also for something completely different, ojamboservices.com has, I can provide services for custom websites or applications. Applications or websites could be mobile, desktop, all web. And maybe you want custom tutorials, you can do that as well online. So the tutorials could be any programming language, could be any of these languages here: JavaScript, Python, PHP, or Java, C, C++, Rust, C#, or it could be databases, any SQL, could be Oracle, MySQL, SQLite, MariaDB, any of them. So I think that's good to end here. Thank you, and see you next time. Oh, also be sure to subscribe for more frequent content. Thank you.